Hey folks, Charles Thomas here, aka Duke CT. How y'all doing? And well, since it is basically the end of the year, and I've never really done this list before, but I've seen a lot of other people do it. And well, since I'm basically need views and what have you, I am just gonna be doing a top 5 list of my best movies I've seen and the 5 worst movies I've seen this year. And well, let's start off right at the back of a movie that honestly I feel that no one really saw this year, and it's one of the most criminally underrated movies that really needs some love. Dredd 3D. Now, I saw this movie when I was in Florida way back in September when it came out, and I have to say, I think Karl Urban did one heck of a job acting with this movie. I think he did a heck of a job acting. You really believe that he was Judge Dredd. The actions and everything he did was so on point. The story was actually good. And I know some people say it was grip off of The Raid. I haven't seen The Raid yet. I know it's on Netflix. I will see that hopefully before the year ends. Or what have you, before I go to MagFest, what have you. But I think personally the Dredd really does put some, but it really, to me, Dredd, mostly Dredd 3D, I haven't seen it 3D yet, I probably never will because I don't have a 3D TV, but I think the story was good. The villain, honestly, I like the villain, the female villain, that nice girl, I love the way she, the villain, and the psychic vision, the psychic that was with Dredd, really good. I really like the whole psychics and everything and the whole world she was in. I really want to explore that. It sucks they didn't make up much money. I'm hopeful it gets a huge run on DVD because a great film like that should not go forgotten. Because a film like that, which honestly, when you just have everything, it just seems like, you know what, this movie really just is underrated, and no one seemed to watch it. Most people just watched the next Resident Evil crap and or that scary movie that came out the same week. But I feel like Dredd 3D should have got more love. And Dredd, to me, like I said, Karl Urban did a hell of a job playing Dredd, and I really think this movie should have got some more love. That's number 5. Number 4 on this list is Paranorman. A story, the funny thing is, I actually watched that movie in 3D, and I was alone. I was the only guy in the movie theater who watched that movie, and it was a shame because when I watched, this was not only a great kids film, but honestly, to me, it was one of the best movies, probably one of the best movies this year. It is something to me that a movie like that, Paranorman, completely gets squashed. No one talks about it. It bothers me because when you have a movie like that, a movie that is so good, so underrated, that you know, we have the story that it had about a town that's going to come back with zombies. I'm not going to spoil it for you because you know what? I'm not spoiling that for you because you got to see that movie yourself. The way the acting, the characters, they really do a good job. The claymation, the new type of 3D stuff was really great. Like I said, the story is really good, and the twist is amazing. You need to go see this movie. It's on DVD, it's on Blu-ray. Go see it. Without 3D, you'll be fine without it. But this is one of the best movies that seems like it's just destined to be a really underground classic. Something like the Iron Giant of this generation. But well, hopefully not like it won't take as long as to get much love to it. But something like that, like a movie that not got much love in the theaters, but when it gets on DVD and Blu-ray and what have you, we get a huge extended life. And I feel like with movies like that And a movie like that, Paranorman, is someone who's good for the entire family. And it's just shame, it sucks that it just did not get much of a huge, and I mean huge, recognition as it should have gotten. My number three, the third best movie I've seen this year, is honestly a bit of a controversial movie. Some people like it, some people hate it. The Amazing Spider-Man. I feel that, Andrew Garfield nails Spider-Man, the character, to me, better than Tobey Maguire. I know, I love Spider-Man 2. The whole I'm one of the few people that like Spider-Man 3. I do. Even though it's, it has its problems, I think the Spider-Man trilogy was very well done. But this movie, I feel it got Peter Parker in a way that really fits the character. Andrew Garfield does a great job. The story was really good. Him discovering the origin and such. And I cannot wait for the sequel. I feel like the sequel is going to probably be better because supposedly Jamie Foxx is going to be in it. And since Jamie Foxx is, there are a lot of people like Django, Ray, or what have you. I think I've never seen Jamie Foxx play a villain before. Has he played a villain? I don't know. Comment below if he has played a villain. But this guy, I think, will probably make the sequel even better. But to me, even though it does have its problems, some scenes don't make any sense. Some stuff like what happened, some stuff gets dropped. Like, for example, the lizard plot just makes no sense, and the lizard plot doesn't make any sense in some aspects. And Kirk Connors is now without his family, because that, to me, Kirk Connors with his family is the most, to me, it's one of the most, the reasons why he is a lizard and how he is because of his family and everything else. Him by himself really, I don't know, just felt like that was one of the biggest drawbacks of the movie, but I still enjoyed it. It is a very good film, and honestly, to me, probably one of the best superhero movies this summer. It would have been one of the best superhero movies this summer, except for my number one pick, but you already know that. But anyway, let's get on to my number two pick, The Hobbit. This, my friends, The Hobbit. One of the most anticipated movies I was waiting for a long while. A lot of bad things happened in pre-production. A lot of things, it had a real rocky start. It looked like it was not going to make it. It looked like it was going to be it could have been a huge epic failure, just like, say, Heaven's Gate was, or what have you. It could be like, oh God, Peter Jackson finally lost it. But it sticks to landing very well. It has a bit of a slow beginning, but after that, everything seems to work. The songs in the movie fit in perfectly. Martin Freeman, plays Bilbo Baggins. He does a really good Bilbo Baggins. And I like the fact that this Hobbit, then Frodo, what have you, Frodo was basically dragged into the craziness. He was dragged into Lord of the Rings. He might have wanted to, but he's like, yeah, okay, and when the real stuff get crazy, he didn't want to do it. Bilbo, he was very hesitant and what have you, but he starts to grow into the adventure. He grows into becoming more acquainted with the dwarves and basically proves himself worthy at the beginning of the end of the film to Thorin Oakenshield. And I don't know how they're going to really play that off. Maybe it's going to be more of a tragic end to their friendship, because I think maybe that's what's going to happen in the story. But I feel, honestly, I am very impressed by what's going on. Very impressed by The Hobbit. The story was great. The songs, the CGI, the 3D, the 42 frames per second. I loved it. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I thought that this was one of the best, probably one of the best uses of technology. One day maybe it might be perfect, because like I said in my Hobbit review, it looks somewhat not realistic. Like it's like, you don't know. But you know what? I still enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. and I still enjoyed it. The whole thing. That to me, I can't wait to see more. Let's see. And the last movie I seen today, the best to me was one of the best movies, The Avengers. Right? People, are you surprised? This movie got everything right. This is a movie that somehow, by all miracle and law, this thing should have failed. I mean, think about it. You're leading in all this. The first, Iron Man, when I first saw Iron Man and saw oh my gosh, they're going to do the Avengers. Like, when Nick Fury says, I want you for the Avengers Initiative, what have you. And then you have Tony Stark at the end of the Hulk, and then you had Iron Man 2, and the whole Avengers thing seemed to get bigger and bigger. Then you have Thor, and you had Captain America, and then, oh my goodness, the Avengers. It somehow combined, the build-up for this thing, it could have failed, people. And not only is it a good movie, which would have been fine by itself, but it is a great movie. This movie, The Avengers, it just shows you how if you really have the people behind it, if you truly have care, love, and behind a film, a series like this, or Marvel has taken care of this series and what have you, and Marvel, Joss Whedon, Disney, those guys really did one hell of a job to make this probably one of the most memorable and one of the most groundbreaking movies, mostly it's comic book movies of all time. And let me tell you something, and that's the reason why DC is trying to jurying and doing all that crazy stuff to get to the Justice League movie, which honestly they should have a world's finest movie before everything else. But hey, that's just my personal opinion, because God forbid you want to have to build up, Batman and Superman. And I guarantee you a lot of people would love to see a world's finest movie instead of a rushed out, horrible Justice League movie, which is going to be a complete clusterfuck, which we know it is going to be that way. And if I'm wrong, I'll be happy to say, yeah, I will be right here making it like, yes, Justice League movie is awesome. They made it great. It's one of the best movies, and yeah, I'll make a video saying this is the greatest thing ever. But, oh man, it looks like it's going, I just got a feeling that it's going to just completely collapse upon itself. And boy, DC is not going to be recovering for a good long while. Which is a shame, because because honestly, the animated stuff is great. Netflix just had like Batman Year One. You had Justice League Doom. You had Superman versus the Elite. Very good. Heck, Superman All-Star Superman, which is but to me still a lot better than say a lot of the Marvel stuff. It's downright. It's just a very weird thing that the DC animated, they get it in the DC animated. They know what they're doing in the DC animated, but in live action they just don't know how. They barely know how to do Batman right, much less someone like Superman or Wonder Woman or Green Lantern. God, and you know what? I'll get to Green Lantern the next year. Trust me, I will. Okay, all right. Anyway. That's it for my top 5 best list. Hope you enjoy it. I'm going to shut this thing off and then do my top 5 worst list. Hopefully you will stay in tune for that. Anyway, it's DCT here. Peace and love. I'll see y'all when I see y'all later.